In this video, I want to talk about victimization spirits and wicked expectations. Now, this video is not going to be that long because I've spoken a lot about the subject of victimization spirits and marks of victimization. I even have a three-part series called Mark of Victimhood. You can watch it if you haven't. I recorded it in 2016. Now, in this video here, I want to remember you that victimization spirits, first, they exist, secondly, they're operative, and thirdly, they are enabled and sponsored by the relief-seeking attitude of the crowd. In reality, in practice, it goes like this. If you have people, you're going to have garbage. This is a parable here. People, they cook, so the leftovers of the groceries becomes garbage. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly natural. Or when they are moving things in their house and they're stopped in use anymore, that becomes garbage. It becomes trash. Okay? So they put the trash in trash bags. Then they throw it outside in trash containers. Why? The containers are built to keep the trash and stench in it. And later, the municipality sends people to pick up the trash containers, or better, to empty the trash containers. That's how it goes in civilized society. Now, in the south of Italy, where the trash disposers don't work properly, you have hills of trash, hills of trash bags, and the stench is harming the human population. Well, that's in the south of Italy. Now, why am I talking about trash containers in these videos as a parable? It is because, energetically speaking, here, I'm not talking about physical trash here, because physical trash, we know how to get rid of it. But energetically speaking, people in general produce negative energy or waste energy because their minds are not in line with Christ. So all the frustration, all that heaviness they emit, it comes from them. And waste energy contaminates the environment. Waste energy attracts evil spirits. It causes the body to malfunction. And a lot of waste energy becomes killing energy. People can die of it. Accidents can happen. So that's something very serious. Now, nobody wants to deal with waste energy. But at the same time, people don't want to deal with stuff. They want to deal with life. They want to be left alone. Common people or worldly people just want to be left alone. They want to avoid life and at the same time fully enjoy life. That's impossible. You can only fully enjoy something when you are participating in it. But common people or worldly people just don't understand this. So this is how it goes. When common people or worldly people, everyone will call them, when they see a convenient way to dump and get rid of their negative energy, they'll take it. Let me give a parable. One day, Frank had 3 bags of trash. They were heavy. There was a lot of stench in the bags. He had to close them off very well to prevent the stench from coming out. So he was walking in the street with those 3 heavy trash bags. And then someone told him, Frank, was it Frank that I used? Okay. Someone told him, Frank, why do you carry those 3 heavy trash bags? And Frank told the pedestrian, the people that had to come and pick up the trash didn't come. They haven't come for almost 2 months. And then the pedestrian told them, look, you see that garden over there? Yeah, that's the garden belonging to Francis. The pedestrian told them, just dump it over there. Now, the pedestrian kept walking. Now, Frank did not consider it a good idea to just dump his trash bags into Francis' garden. But he didn't want to return home with the three heavy bags either. So he saw more people walking by with trash bags and they all dumped it into Francis' garden. So Frank considered it not that bad to also dump his trash in the garden of Francis. Now what has happened here? This Francis became the dump. This Francis property became the dump site of the trash of the community over there. Whenever people had too much trash, they would dump it at Francis' garden. Because Francis was not often at home. Francis had to go to the hospital often to do checks on themselves. So because there was nobody there to guard Francis' property, in his yard, there was one individual beginning to throw trash over there. And secretly, everyone wanted to get rid of their trash very quickly, without having to wait on the trash disposal or to take all that effort. So more people secretly in the night began to dump their trash over there. And over a while, it became accustomed to just throw your trash over there. Now, in daily life, that's how it is with worldly people. When they have an opportunity or a convenient outlet for the next energy, they will fully take advantage of it, unless there are repercussions for taking advantage of that outlet. Now let's change the story now. There was another garden of Joe where people also began to dump trash. But when they did that, the next day, the trash would appear right in front of the door. Why? Joe had children that opened the trash bags to find some old documents that people thrown away. And the sons and daughters of Joe always found out to whom the trash bags belonged. So they always returned the trash back to their senders. And remember, trash gets worse with the days. The stench becomes worse. The bacteria increase. So everyone that dumped their trash at Joe's house, thinking they were rid of it, man, sooner or later they found it back. And after a while, Joe's children began to break into the homes of people and put the trash right in their houses. And that was quite intense. You arrive at home and suddenly there's this huge stench and you see those bags of trash over there. So after about a week, nobody dared to dump any trash on Joe's property. Now, the world tells you to stand up for yourself. What the world tells you is to develop resistance against other people and to fool this resistance with violence so that they won't bring violence onto you. But when you do this, you operate in violence also. So you also generate negative energy. And then you need to get dump it somewhere. Look, in the parable I just give unto you about this Joe and this Frank, the difference between Frank and Joe is not that Joe stood up for himself. No, because there was a third. Let me add another element to this parable. There was a third guy, Bob, and Bob had a gun in which he would shoot at people. But he did shoot at people, but now he got in trouble for shooting at people. And now everyone that came to secretly dump their trash in his garden now all denied it. So Bob's self-defense got him in trouble. So Joe's children learned from it. They were practical. They returned the packages back to their senders. They thought about it like this. If someone sends you a card by postal mail, and the card does not belong to you, you don't open it, you send it back to its sender. You return it. That's how it used to go before email came. When you received a letter from someone, it was not addressed to you, you write a return. And the postal worker had to return it back to its sender. Joe's children were practical. They returned things to their senders. And that's why eventually nobody dumped anything in their father's garden. That Francis, he wasn't even aware that folks were dumping trash in his garden. Until a day, he couldn't even get out of his own property because the gate was blocked with trash bags that were also open. So now you had mice everywhere and you had birds. So it became even dangerous to be in his own backyard. Look, what I'm saying is, when common people have a convenient outlet for their negative energy, they will use it. They will present themselves as polite, civilized people, that they don't do such stuff, but trust me, when it comes down to it, they just want to get rid of negative energy. They just want to be relieved. They'll take it. And once they do it collectively so they can cover each other. And they'll come with all kinds of excuses. And now you are under the pressure not to act in a way to give them an advantage. In the parable I gave unto you, you had this Joe, not Joe, no. You had this Bob that stood up for himself, and his standing up for himself was interpreted by others as an offense. So now people could easily make their excuses work against this Bob. Now look, what does this have to do with victimization spirits? Those evil spirits know that worldly people just want to get rid of negative energy. They don't want to repent nor renew their mind. They just want to be left alone. So they just want to dump their waste and so-called move on. But you don't move on, just want to be left alone, so they dump their waste, collectively and individually. So evil spirits themselves help and assist common people in locating convenient outlets. Because when people have a convenient outlet for the negative energy, there is less to almost no incentive to seek deliverance. And evil spirits don't want people to look for deliverance. They just want people to remain in relief seeking. And in order to do that, the demons need to present them a convenient outlet for their waste energies. So, in the parable I give unto you, Francis became the convenient outlet. And Francis was not even aware of it. Now, let me talk to you about me. Well, when I was growing up, and this is what I've realized later when I reflected back, I realized that there was a spirit of victimization hanging around me. Wherever I went, it didn't last long before people started taking offense at me. And often, when you evaluate the situation, there was no reason at all for them to take any offense. There was no rudeness, there was nothing from my part that could have triggered them. And this happened quite often. It was like a pattern. And I, as a human being, kept getting these tensions from those people. So I developed a state of natural fright to anticipate people dumping that waste at me. Now, as a kid, you can't defend yourself. You can't figure things out. It was later, after I became born again and my mind was renewed, I began to realize what was going on. I had the mark of victimhood on me. Now, I'm not going to talk how that mark of victimhood developed. That mark of victimization, that label, that paranormal label was enforced on me by someone. And other people sensed that there was a convenient outlet for their waste, and they took it. That's why when I held people to an account on them becoming upset with me, they often can't explain it. Or they will say I overreacted. Because they know very well they were wrong. But they just wanted to be relieved. And because they felt that it was convenient to pour out their waste towards me, they did it. It was really the demon that was enticing them and saying to them, hey, you feel like crap, or your partner didn't treat you well, or your parents are effed up. Don't worry, dump it over here, dump it over here. It was the demon that was enticing them. They weren't aware it was a demon, but they sensed this urge to just dump their waste somewhere, and they did it. And they didn't want to be held to an account. They just wanted to be relieved. And narcissists don't even need the assistance of victimization spirits. Narcissists sense automatically if someone has a mark of victimization. Because narcissists don't target everyone. They only target those where they can relieve themselves. Now, not everyone that dumps their waste on you is a narcissist. The attitude is narcissistic, that's true. But narcissists always target those with marks of victimization. Or the narcissist, him or herself, will enforce a mark of victimization on you. Now look, I got delivered from this mark of victimization and also from those victimization spirits. But there's the thing, when people are used to throw their waste on you, to be relieved, they don't want to stop. It's like having a crack addiction. They can't, if for them to stop doing it, they now need to face their waste instead of dumping it. So even if the mark of victimization is gone and the victimization spirit is gone, they're now addicted at dumping their waste at you. And that's why standing up for yourself doesn't work. You need to be delivered and you need to deal with things from a spiritual point of view. Now, the more I began to walk supernaturally, the less it happened people dare to dump their waste at me. And since several years, people don't even dare to even look at me in a weird manner. I've spoken about this before. Now, victimization spirits also attract danger. Of course they attract danger to you because they draw the negative energy of others towards you. But they also attract other demons towards you. And those other demons are not going to remain with you, but those other demons are going to bring diseases, accidents, I would say chronic fatigue. There are many things that victimization spirits do. Why? Because amongst common people it works like this. They have their pact called society, and if you don't validate this pact, you are their enemy. That's how common people operate. So, when you don't validate that pact of theirs by either willingly or out of your control because you're considered dysfunctional, that already is a reason for common people to treat you less. Okay, so and evil spirits know this. So evil spirits will cause malfunction around their target so that people will feel comfortable dumping their waste on the target. And that's how the evil spirits keep them addicted at the expense of the target. Now, it's still the people doing it, so the people have no excuse, but it's the demons behind the scenes operating it. I'm telling you, take everything from a spiritual point of view. Realize that a lot of folks just don't want to change, don't want to be responsible ever. So don't expect them to change either. Make sure you get delivered. And I'm telling you, if someone has a mark of victimization, it can even cause their early death. Either through violence, because someone else dumps their waste at them in a physical violent way and the individual dies, or it can cause a car accident or accident at work. I'm telling you plainly here, common people will enable your death. They will enable you falling apart. They will enable sickness on you. They will do all of that if it benefits them.